Strange habits you thought were weird might actually be signs of high intelligence. Here are a few daily behaviors that reveal a sharper mind than you think. Caught yourself narrating your grocery shopping like you're explaining quantum physics to an invisible audience. You're walking down the cereal aisle going, "Now, the real question is whether we prioritize fiber content or childhood nostalgia." That's not madness. That's your brain operating at premium capacity. When intelligent people talk to themselves, they're actually engaging in something called self-directed speech. It's a cognitive tool that helps organize complex thoughts and solve problems more efficiently. Your brain is essentially using your voice as an external processing unit. Athletes do this before big games. Surgeons do it during procedures. Even Albert Einstein was famous for muttering to himself while working through equations. The difference between random muttering and intelligent self-talk is structured. You're not just making noise. You're articulating problems, weighing options, and reasoning through solutions. It's like your internal monologue got tired of being silent and decided to go public. Research shows people who engage in self-directed speech actually perform better on cognitive tasks and retain information longer. So next time someone catches you having a full debate with yourself about which coffee blend represents your personality better, don't apologize. You're not losing it. Your brain just prefers working with the sound on. Emotionally attached to inanimate objects, you just apologize to your phone for dropping it. You feel genuine guilt about donating that lamp you've had for 6 years. Your car has a name, and you're convinced it runs better when you compliment it. Most people would call this absurd. Psychologists call it a marker of elevated emotional intelligence. This behavior stems from something deeper than sentimentality. When you assign feelings or personalities to objects, your brain is demonstrating advanced empathy processing. You're capable of extending emotional consideration beyond the obvious boundaries most people recognize. That old coffee mug isn't just ceramic to you. It's been there for every morning deadline, every late-night breakthrough, every quiet moment of your routine. Studies link this trait to higher creativity and social awareness. People who anthropomorphize objects tend to have richer internal worlds and stronger pattern recognition skills. They see connections and relationships where others see stuff. It's the same cognitive flexibility that helps brilliant minds make unexpected breakthroughs. You're not projecting randomly, you're recognizing the role things play in your life narrative. That childhood stuffed animal sitting in your closet? It holds memories your brain has encoded with emotional significance. Feeling weird about throwing it away isn't childish, it's your mind honoring continuity and meaning. And now when you thank your laptop for not crashing during that important presentation, that's not strange. That's emotional sophistication most people never develop. Selective memory paradox: you walked into the kitchen and completely forgot why you're standing there. But you can recite the entire periodic table you memorized in 9th grade. You blank on someone's name 5 seconds after meeting them, yet you remember the exact wording of an argument from 2015. This isn't early dementia. This is how high-intelligence brains actually prioritize information. Smart brains are ruthlessly selective about what gets premium storage space. They're not designed to remember everything equally. They're built to retain what matters and dump what doesn't. The person's name at the networking event? Your brain ran a quick assessment and decided it wasn't worth the cognitive real estate. That random historical fact about Byzantine architecture? Apparently that made the cut. This selective forgetting is called motivated forgetting, and it's actually a sign of mental efficiency. Your brain is constantly making executive decisions about information value. It's like having an overqualified librarian who keeps rare manuscripts but tosses outdated magazines. The stuff you forget tends to be routine, mundane, or contextually irrelevant. The stuff you remember often connects to deeper interests or complex knowledge networks already established in your mind. Next time you forget what you ate for breakfast, but remember obscure movie quotes from decades ago, your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's just operating with different priorities than most people expect. Complex humor falls flat, you drop what you consider a brilliant joke. Something layered, clever, maybe with a literary reference or scientific twist. Complete silence. Someone pity laughs. Another person asks if you're okay. Meanwhile, you're standing there realizing your humor just flew over everyone's head at supersonic speed. This happens because intelligent minds construct jokes differently. They build humor with multiple levels, unexpected connections, and references that require specific knowledge to decode. Your brain finds comedy in wordplay, irony, and abstract concepts. Most people prefer straightforward punchlines. You're serving gourmet humor to a fast food crowd. Research consistently shows correlation between intelligence and appreciation for complex comedy. Higher cognitive ability means you spot incongruities others miss. You find humor in philosophical contradictions, logical absurdities, and satirical observations about human behavior. The problem is, your audience needs the same reference library you're pulling from. When you make a joke comparing your dating life to Schrödinger's cat, you need someone who understands both quantum mechanics and emotional unavailability. Dark humor particularly appeals to intelligent minds. It requires simultaneously holding conflicting emotions and finding comedy in uncomfortable truths. So, when your perfectly crafted joke bombs and you end up explaining it with visual aids, don't dim your wit. You're not unfunny, just broadcasting on a frequency most receivers can't pick up. Eventually, you'll find people who speak your comedic language. Nocturnal brain activation 2 in the morning. You should be unconscious. Instead, you're wide awake, mind racing, thoughts sharper than they've been all day. This isn't insomnia. This is your cognitive engine running on its preferred fuel schedule. Research links night owl tendencies with higher intelligence scores across multiple studies. People who naturally stay alert late into the night consistently perform better on tests, measuring abstract reasoning, problem solving, and creative thinking. Their brains don't power down when the sun sets. They actually shift into higher gear. Darkness removes distractions. The world goes quiet. Your mind finally gets the workspace it needs. History backs this up relentlessly. Darwin worked through nights developing evolution theory. Churchill ran a country on nocturnal schedules. Obama made major decisions after midnight. These weren't sleep disorders. These were brilliant minds operating when their circuitry functioned best. The theory suggests intelligent brains possess stronger ability to override biological programming. They can push past natural rhythms most people can't resist. And if you find yourself crafting ideas at 3 in the morning while everyone else dreams, you're not broken. You're not destroying your health with bad habits. Your brain is simply rejecting the 9-to-5 cognitive model. You're running on a different operating system, one that happens to boot up when the rest of the world shuts down. Relentless question reflects your default response to almost everything is but why. Someone states a fact. You immediately want the mechanism behind it. Someone proposes a solution. You need to understand the underlying principles. People tell you to just accept things. Your brain physically rejects that option. This isn't you being difficult. This is high cognitive function refusing to operate on surface-level information. Intelligence correlates strongly with what psychologists call low need for cognitive closure. Most people feel uncomfortable with ambiguity. They want quick answers and clear conclusions. Your brain does the opposite, stays in question mode longer, tolerates uncertainty better, and digs deeper before accepting explanations. You're not satisfied with knowing what happens. You need to understand the entire chain of causation. This drives people around you slightly insane. They see you as contrarian or argumentative. You're actually just running quality control on information before filing it as truth. Highly intelligent minds constantly test logical consistency. They challenge assumptions, question authority, and reevaluate their own conclusions. Einstein called this sacred curiosity. Socrates built an entire philosophical method around it. Frustrating part is most conversations stop at surface level. Someone says that's just how it works and everyone nods. Your brain immediately generates 17 follow-up questions. You're not trying to be annoying. Your mind simply refuses to accept incomplete explanations as final answers. Understanding beats convenience every single time. Elaborate planning systems you've built, the perfect productivity system, color-coded spreadsheets, detailed habit trackers, a morning routine with 17 specific steps, multiple apps synchronized across devices, everything optimized down to 5-minute increments. Then somehow, you're eating leftover pizza at 4 in the afternoon, wondering where the entire day disappeared. This isn't failure. This is textbook high-functioning overthinker behavior. People with above-average intelligence love designing systems more than actually using them. The intellectual satisfaction comes from solving the puzzle of optimal living. Your brain treats life optimization like an engineering problem. The blueprint excites you more than the construction phase ever will. The pattern repeats endlessly. You create elaborate frameworks for fitness, learning, finances, and relationships. Each one is theoretically brilliant. Each one gets abandoned within days. Why? Because your brain is an architect, not a maintenance crew. You get dopamine from design and strategy. Implementation feels tedious by comparison. Once you've solved the problem mentally, your interest evaporates. Research shows intelligent people often struggle with execution despite exceptional planning abilities. They can envision perfect systems, but lack patience for repetitive follow-through. It's that gorgeous Notion dashboard you built. It represented hours of engaged problem-solving, actually logging daily tasks in it. That's boring data entry your brain considers beneath its pay grade. You designed the city. Someone else can sweep the streets. The tragedy is, you're both the architect and the janitor. Mid-conversation, mental departure, someone is talking directly to you while you're nodding, making appropriate eye contact. But your actual consciousness left the conversation 3 sentences ago. You're not ignoring them out of rudeness. Your brain just encountered something they said that triggered a cascade of deeper processing while they're still talking about weekend plans. You're mentally exploring the philosophical implications of something they mentioned 5 minutes earlier. This happens because intelligent minds process information on multiple levels simultaneously. A casual comment about traffic sparks thoughts about urban planning, human behavior patterns, and environmental impact. Your brain can't help running complex analysis in the background. The conversation continues on the surface while you're diving deep underneath. To observers, you look distracted. In reality, you're engaging with their words more intensely than they realize. The frustrating part is explaining where you went. Someone asks if you're listening. You can't exactly say yes. But also I was contemplating the socioeconomic factors that influence infrastructure development based on your complaint about the highway. That sounds insane. Easier to apologize and pretend you spaced out, but you didn't space out. Went somewhere more interesting than the surface conversation allowed. Research on cognitive processing shows higher intelligence correlates with deeper information analysis. Simple inputs generate complex internal responses. Your friend mentions their job. You're suddenly thinking about labor theory, workplace psychology, and career trajectory patterns. This isn't attention deficit. This is attention surplus going places the conversation wasn't designed to reach. Instructions breed suspicion. Someone hands you instructions. Your immediate reaction is, I'll figure this out myself. The IKEA manual stays in the box. The recipe measurements are suggestions at best. Someone explains the official process, and you're already planning your own version. This isn't arrogance or stubbornness. This is your brain demanding first-hand verification before accepting anyone else's methodology. People with high need for cognition get actual satisfaction from working things out independently. Following step-by-step directions feels like intellectual theft. You want the learning experience, not just the outcome. That furniture might take 3 times longer to assemble your way, but you'll understand how it actually works instead of mindlessly following diagrams. Your brain values comprehension over efficiency. This trait shows up everywhere. It's cooking without measuring. Troubleshooting technology by experimenting rather than reading guides. Taking apart electronics to understand their internal logic. To others, this looks like you're making life unnecessarily difficult. To you, this is how real learning happens. Instructions tell you what to do. Experimentation teaches you why it works. The scientific method literally depends on this mentality. Test everything. Verify independently. Don't accept claims without evidence. Researchers who changed the world did it by questioning established instructions and trying alternative approaches. That coffee machine you disassembled to check if the manual was accurate, that wasn't chaos. That was empirical investigation. Your brain doesn't trust secondhand information. It needs primary source experience. Small talk intolerance, whether chat feels like slow death. Someone starts discussing their commute, and you can feel your consciousness trying to escape your body. They ask about your weekend, and you're searching for the bare minimum response that ends this interaction. You don't hate these people, just cannot force enthusiasm for conversational filler that contains zero intellectual substance. Intelligent brains crave meaningful stimulation. They need discussions with depth, complexity, or novel information. Surface-level exchanges about humidity levels or traffic patterns don't activate the neural circuits that keep you engaged. It's not snobbery. Your brain literally registers these interactions as unstimulating to the point of physical discomfort. While someone explains their lunch salad ingredients, your mind is attempting to solve actual problems or explore interesting concepts. The social cost is real, though. People think you're cold or uninterested in them personally. You're just uninterested in spending limited mental energy on exchanges that go nowhere. Deep conversations about ideas, challenging questions, or substantive topics, you'll talk for hours. But forced pleasantries about mundane daily observations, your brain checks out automatically. It's protecting cognitive resources for things that actually matter. Research calls this need for meaningful stimulation. Some minds require intellectual nutrition from conversations. Small talk is empty calories. You're not being rude when you glaze over during someone's monologue about parking spots. Your brain is simply refusing to pretend shallow content deserves deep attention. Quality conversation or comfortable silence. The middle ground feels wasteful. Deadline-induced excellence. 2 weeks to complete the project. You spend 13 days doing absolutely nothing. The final night arrives and suddenly you transform into a productivity machine. 90 minutes of pure hyperfocus, and you've created something inexplicably good. This pattern repeats endlessly, and everyone calls it procrastination. It's actually how certain high-performance brains access their best work. Intelligent minds often require pressure to eliminate all the noise. Without a deadline, your brain sees infinite possibilities and gets paralyzed by options. Too much time means overthinking every approach. But compress that timeline to nothing, and suddenly there's only one path forward. Your brain stops debating and starts executing. The panic creates tunnel vision that blocks out every distraction. All that scattered mental energy finally channels into singular focus. History proves this repeatedly. Leonardo da Vinci spent 16 years on the Mona Lisa. Douglas Adams famously loved the sound of deadlines made flying past. These weren't lazy people. They were brilliant minds that needed external pressure to override their internal complexity. The looming deadline acts like a cognitive catalyst. It forces decisions, eliminates perfectionism, and activates a mental state most people never access. The work you produce under pressure often exceeds what you create with plenty of time. Why? Because time abundance invites overthinking. Deadline scarcity demands action. Your brain stops preparing and starts performing. That last-minute essay that somehow earned top marks, and that wasn't luck. That was your intelligence finally freed from the burden of having options. Social interaction, overanalysis. You rehearse ordering coffee like it's a presentation. Simple interactions become complex calculations. Did that handshake last appropriate length? Should you have responded differently when they said enjoy your meal? Every casual exchange generates post-conversation analysis that runs for hours. People assume you're socially incompetent. Reality is, your brain processes social situations with excessive depth. Social awkwardness frequently accompanies high intelligence. Not because smart people lack social skills, but because they apply too much cognitive processing to interactions most people handle automatically, while others chat effortlessly about weekend plans. You're running probability calculations on conversation outcomes. Your brain treats casual small talk like chess. 3 moves ahead, considering all variables, evaluating every possible response. This creates visible awkwardness. You pause too long before answering simple questions. You overthink basic gestures until they become mechanical. Someone says, "See you later," and you're internally debating whether that's literal or colloquial. Meanwhile, they've already left, and you're still processing. Einstein was famously uncomfortable in social settings. Newton essentially avoided them entirely. Their brains were too busy analyzing patterns to perform social scripts naturally. The exhausting part is, you see everyone else operating smoothly. You're not thinking about their body language or conversational rhythm. They just exist in the moment. Your brain refuses that autopilot option. Every interaction gets scrutinized. Every word choice gets evaluated. You're not weird. You're just running social interactions through processing power they were never designed to require. Post-social energy depletion party ends. Everyone wants the after party. You want noise-canceling headphones and complete isolation, not because you didn't enjoy yourself, because your brain just ran a marathon while everyone else took a casual stroll? This need for solitude after socializing isn't antisocial behavior. It's cognitive recovery. Research shows people with higher intelligence often display stronger introversion characteristics. They don't process conversations casually. Every interaction gets deep analysis. Reading subtext, interpreting tone, tracking multiple conversation threads simultaneously. What looks like simple chatting to others is intense mental work for you. Your brain doesn't do surface-level engagement. Studies found intelligent individuals report lower life satisfaction with increased socializing. Their minds prefer solitary time for reflection and creative thinking. Social situations demand constant external focus. Alone time lets your brain return to its natural state of internal exploration. You're not recharging from people. You're recovering from the cognitive load of intense social processing. That locked bathroom after gatherings? That's not rudeness. That's essential system maintenance. Your brain operated in performance mode for hours. It needs downtime to process everything it absorbed, file away observations, and return to baseline. Other people find energy in crowds. You find it in silence. Neither approach is wrong. They're just different operating systems. Routine optimization and midnight research binges, eating identical meals daily looks robotic to most people. Chicken and rice, same breakfast, rotating between 3 outfits. You see monotony. You've eliminated meaningless decisions to preserve mental capacity for actual problems. This is decision fatigue management. Every choice costs cognitive energy. Smart minds recognize that spending brain power on what shirt to wear is inefficient resource allocation. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily. Zuckerberg does it too. Not because they lack creativity, because they've calculated the return on investment for wardrobe decisions and found it lacking. Your repeated meals serve the same function. Routines create mental space. Consistency reduces anxiety. But here's where it gets interesting. That mental energy you saved. It activates at 3 in the morning, researching Byzantine architecture or the mating patterns of deep-sea creatures. You started with one question, and 6 hours later, you read 17 Wikipedia tabs deep into subjects you'll never practically use. This is your intelligence in its natural habitat. It's unrestricted exploration, following fascinating threads wherever they lead. Most people need purpose to learn. You need interest. That random knowledge accumulates into a vast web of unexpected connections. The stuff you research at absurd hours often links together in ways that spark genuine insights later. Those overnight research binges aren't insomnia or time wasting. That's your brain feeding itself exactly what it craves: depth, complexity, and the freedom to explore without justification.